What's up, guys, and welcome to the Heroic Dark Animus Raid Guide. As always, I'm just going to be covering the difference between normal mode and heroic mode in the Throne of Thunder. Dark Animus is by far the second hardest boss in all of the Throne of Thunder instance. The reason that it's tough is because the first 2 minutes of the fight take extreme coordination, damage control, and raid awareness. After that, it literally becomes almost a tank and spank with a couple extra features drawn in, but I'll go over that once we get there. The biggest thing that you want to know for this fight is you're spread out kind of just like normal mode where you're tanking your golem, right? Except in heroic mode, the boss instantly activates, okay? Upon the pull, the boss will activate. So what you need to understand is that your tanks need to get the boss, or your tank needs to get the boss to the center of the room, and then you start the fight. What happens next is the other tanks are positioned by two massive golems, and they're each tanking a couple adds. Now the trick is, if these small adds get too close to each other, they link. And if you see a red line between them, they immediately will pummel your face in, wiping you. There's really nothing you can do about it, so just wipe and run back in and try again. You need to keep your adds spread out. There's no way around that. If you watch the encounter, you'll notice that we never get too close. The reason being is that you can't. If you do, then they link. They will kill you. They will one-shot you, you will die, and you will wipe, okay? So keep that in mind. The second thing that we do is, as soon as the massives are activated from the tank, is you want to get 7 other massives in, because each massive can hold 36 anima, and each small golem delivers 4 anima. So what you want to do is you want to get that anima into those massives as quickly as possible. The reason being is because you don't want them going into the boss. The more that go into the boss, the less time that you have to kill the boss, because once his bar hits full, he will then do full power on his next interrupting jolt, and you will die. It is GG at that point. There's no ice blocking it. There's no coming back from that. You are done. So that is the trick, is you don't want the big, or you don't want any of the little golems to give their anima to the boss. It's kind of the way of the mechanic, is the anima mechanic. Once your group kind of figures out how that works and what your group does best with it, that's when you're really going to start to see progression. But the biggest thing with this fight, guys, is the coordination. You can't just dot up all the adds. You can't pull aggro off any of the other adds. You have to focus on your ad alone, while burning into the boss. Okay, and then when it's time to kill the adds, at about a minute to a minute and 15 seconds, then all the other adds need to die within about 10 to 15 seconds. So what we tried to do was kind of go with the rule of keep them about 2 to 3 global cooldowns away from dying at all times. Now, if there's healers tanking, or if there's groups that you see that constantly need help getting ad damage onto their ad, you know, then you can maybe start swinging some different things around with damage. But remember, you can't link them, okay? Pets with classes are excellent for this fight because they can actually tank some of the golems, so you can actually free up some of your healers, which makes it a lot easier on the rest of your raid, especially on your healers, because they don't have to focus on keeping aggro. They can just focus on healing. So any pet classes, warlocks, hunters, you know, stuff like that, you're very, very good with in this fight. The next thing that you need to understand is, once the massives are full, they're tanked over there, and then it really becomes a tank and spank fight at this point, okay? What you need to understand, though, is any of the normal mode mechanics still apply. The problem is interrupting jolt now hits like a truck, okay? So, and it gets continually harder. Like, you'll notice that it just hits and hits and hits. The other thing that it does is it locks you out of that school of magic, so you need to make sure that you're not casting during an interrupting jolt. How we decided to deal with this is we tried to have a cooldown and ramping up as the fight went on. So for the first one, let's say we did personals. The second one, let's say we did health stones. The third one, you know, we had an aura, so on and so forth. And then we start stacking healer cooldowns as a way to mitigate the jolts, okay? So not only are you not casting, but you're also trying to mitigate as much damage as you can during the interrupting jolt, whilst not standing in anima font. Again, this is normal mode stuff that you don't want to stand in, but I'm telling you that in heroic mode, if you stand in anima font, if it doesn't one-shot you, it will two-shot you. So the problem is there's so much damage going on the tanks that the healers don't have time to heal you directly and spam heal you from down to full before a jolt. They're too busy spamming other things. So don't be that guy. Make sure that you're not standing in anything on the floor. That's really all you have to worry about after you're through that phase, is not casting during jolts and doing that. And the other thing is matter swap, okay? Matter swap will obviously take the 2 farthest people and swap them. The healers need to understand how this debuff works. It's a normal mode mechanic. I'm not going to go into it. If you don't know how it works, you'll figure it out very quickly, because other raid members will yell at you when you do it wrong. but you need to figure out how matter swap works and how best to use your group for it. If you have a warlock, again, great class for this with gateway. Mages are good with blink for this. Pretty much anyone that can get to the other side of the room very quickly. So even, you know, monks, warriors with a leap, you know, anything that you can really use to try and get from one end to the other is going to be really helpful. Again, demonic gateways are the key to this fight. At least it makes it a lot easier on this fight. But understand how that matter swap works, understand your positioning, stay spread out so that you're not in fonts with anybody else, make sure that you're not standing in fonts, and you're really going to be able to kill this boss. But I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to do a lot of high percentage wipes, okay? You're going to do a lot of high percentage wipes. It's going to happen. So just be aware of it, come calm, come prepared, and come to learn. And know how the fight gets there before it starts, and you can down this boss. Hope you like this one. As always, see you in the next one.